Good day, Creighton learners. We are now on the first week of the fourth quarter entitled Illustrating Measures of Position. After going to this module, we are expected to illustrate the following measures of position: the quartiles, deciles, and percentiles. The score points that divide the distribution into some equal parts are called measures of position. We have three common measures of position. Let us examine each of the measures of position thoroughly, beginning with quartiles. The score points that divide a distribution into four equal parts are called quartiles. There are three quartile values, which are the first quartile, denoted by Q sub 1, Q sub 2, and Q sub 3. Observe that 25% of the distribution falls below Q sub 1. Another 50% of the distribution falls below Q sub 2. And 75% of the distribution fall below Q sub 3. Q sub 1 and Q sub 3, or the first and the third quartile, are also known as the lower and the upper quartile, respectively. Now let's have deciles. For the deciles, the score points that divide a distribution into 10 equal parts are called deciles. To see how deciles divide the distribution, let us see this illustration. As you can see, we have 9 deciles, which are the first decile, denoted by D sub 1, the second decile, denoted by D sub 2, the third decile, denoted by D sub 3, the fourth decile, denoted by D sub 4, D sub 5, D sub 6, D sub 7, D sub 8, and D sub 9. Again, there are 9 decile values. The score points that divide the distribution into 100 equal parts are called percentiles. And there are 99 of them, from first percentile to the 99th percentile. The division of the distribution into 100 equal parts may be interpreted into similar fashion as those of quartiles and deciles. Now, let us take a look at the equivalence of these measures of position in this diagram. For simplicity, we presented the 10th, the 20th, up to the 90th percentile instead of showing all the 99 percentile values. Observe that P sub 50, D sub 5, Q sub 2 are all the median of the distribution. Likewise, Q sub 1 is equal to P sub 25, and Q sub 3 is equal to P sub 75. Further, P sub 10 is equal to D sub 1, P sub 20 is equal to D sub 2. P sub 30 is equal to D sub 3. P sub 40 is equal to D sub 4, which must all be true to other deciles and corresponding percentiles. From this diagram, you should be able to notice that every quartile, Q sub 1, Q sub 2, and Q sub 3, and decile from D sub 1 to D sub 9 may be expressed as percentile from P sub 10 to P sub 90. Again, P sub 50, P sub 5, and Q sub 2 are called the median. Meaning to say, 50% of the distribution falls below this location. And for this location, or the Q sub 1 known as the lower quartile, there is 25% or less than falls below this distribution. And for this location, we have Q sub 3 or the upper quartile, means there are 75% or less fall below this distribution. Again, let us summarize the three measures of position. Okay, so the first one is quartile. So how many score points are there for quartiles? Yes, there are 3 score points. These are Q sub 1, Q sub 2, and Q sub 3. How about for deciles? That's good. There are 9 score points for deciles. These are D sub 1 up to D sub 9. And the last, for the percentiles, how many score points are there? Good. There are 99 score points. These are P sub 1 up to P sub 99. There is collective noun for the measures of position. This is what we call fractiles. Fractiles means it is the cut-off point for a certain fraction of a sample. Another term is what we call quantiles. It is used instead of the word fractile, as they can be expressed as quartiles, deciles, or percentiles. Let us take the following examples. Here are the 20 scores of 20 students in an online quiz in math. So, okay, if you are asked to arrange them in ascending order, so the answer is this. So, just simply list down the smallest score, up to the greatest score. And then 13 is what we call the median. There are 3 scores below 13 and 3 scores above 13. Median means it is the middle position after arranging the data in increasing order. Now, if we have given these 20 scores and you are asked to determine the median, always remember to arrange the given scores from lowest to highest, and then determine the middle score. So the median score is 12.5. 12.5 is between the two scores, between 12 and 13. Notice that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 scores on the left side of 12 and 13. And another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 scores on the right side of 12 and 13. Hence, 12 and 13 are called the two scores. Now, to obtain the median, we just simply get the average of 12 and 13. So, 12 plus 13 is 25 divided by 2, that is 12.5. Hence, 12.5 is called the median. For the third example, how many scores fall below 25% of the distribution? Okay, so the answer is 5 scores. 25% of n, where n is the total number of scores. So, as you can see, there are 20 scores. So, 25% of 20 is equal to 5. Hence, there are 5 scores fall below 25% of the distribution. These are 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. How many scores fall above 10% of the distribution? So, the answer is 18. So, there are 18 scores. Again, so 10% of n, where n is the total number of scores. So, again, n is equal to 20. So, 10% of 20 is 2. So, 0.10 times 20 is 2. There are 2 scores fall below 10% of the distribution. Take note the word below. So, these are 6 and 7. So, 6 and 7 are the scores below 10% of the distribution. Hence, there are 18 scores fall above 10% of the distribution. Okay? So, using the encircled number, the red oval, are the 18 scores fall above 10% of the distribution. Let's have another activity. So, 85% of the data set falls above the 15th percentile. Is it true or false? Okay, in 15th percentile or p-sub 15, 15% of the data have values less than or equal to it. And at the same time, 85% of data have values greater than or equal to it. So the answer is true. So 85% of the data set falls above 15 percentile. Number 2. There are 100 score points that divide the distribution into 100 equal parts. Is it true or false? The answer is false. Why false? Because there are only 99 score points that divide the distribution into 100 equal parts. Next, number 3. The 70th percentile represents the same value as the 7th decile. Is it true or false? The answer is true. Take note that P sub 70 is equal to D sub 7. Why? Because 70% of the data have values less than or equal to P sub 70, and at the same time, 70% of the data have values less than or equal to D sub 7. As you can see, P sub 70 and D sub 7 have the same percentage value, and this is 70%. Number 4. The 50th percentile is equal to the 5th decile. Is it true or false? The answer is true. P sub 50 is equivalent to P sub 5 because this is called the median. Meaning, 50% of the data have values less than or equal to P sub 50 or P sub 5. Next, for illustration 1, in a quiz B participated by 9 students, Jana ranked 5th. Which measures of position does Jana score? So this is the location of Jana. As you've noticed, there are 4 scores on the left of Jana. There are 4 students or 4 scores on the left of Jana's score and 4 scores on the right of Jana's score. So hence, Jana's score is the middle score or what we call the median. 50% of the scores fall below the median and Jana's score represents P sub 50 or D sub 5 or Q sub 2. For the second illustration, in a small law firm with 24 employees, James has a salary that is greater than 80 other employees. What measure of position does James' salary take? Okay, as you can see, so this is James, this is the location of James, and on the left side of James, there are 18 other employees. So meaning, his salary is greater than 18 other employees. So we are going to find the measures of position representing James' salary. So what are we going to do? So we're going to divide 18 by 24. So which is equivalent to 0.75. Changing to percent form, this is equivalent to 75%. So just simply move the decimal point 2 places to the right and write the percent sign. So speaking of 75%, this is equivalent to Q sub 3 or P sub 75, which is actually the upper quartile. Next, illustration number 3. A non-government organization eyes for the top 2% of the graduating class to receive a scholarship grant. What percentile corresponds to those who will qualify for the scholarship? So let us look at this point. So this location, meaning to say, on the left part of this point, represents those scores that are not qualified for the scholarship grant. And on the right side of this point are the scores that are qualified for the scholarship grant. So meaning, on the right side of this point is the upper 2% of the graduating class who will receive a scholarship grant. So the question is, what percentile corresponds to those who will qualify for the scholarship? So as you can see, if there is, the total distribution is 100%. Now, if there is 2% on the other side of this location or position, how many were left? Yes, there is remaining 98%. So meaning, this is 98% falls below this position or represented by P sub 98 or the 98th percentile. Okay, next activity number 3. Okay, so entitled Locate It. So number 1, a quiz was taken by 35 students. You scored higher than 14 other students who took the quiz. What measure of position does your score illustrate? Anybody? Good. The answer is D sub 4 or P sub 40. So in order to find the measures of position corresponding to this score, if you scored higher than 14 other students, so when speaking of measures of position, we just simply compare our score to the other scores of the students, of the 35 students. So if you scored higher than 14 other students who took the quiz, so you just simply divide 14 by 35. So that is equivalent to 0.4. Moving the decimal point 2 places to the right, that is equivalent to 40%. So 40% means there are 40% scores for fall below D sub 4 or P sub 40. Next, number 2. The ages of 24 individuals were taken. It was found out that Mariel is the 6th youngest in the group. What measures of position does Mariel's age indicate? So take note that Mariel's located on the 6th position. So using the same process as what we did on the first example, we just simply divide 6 by 24. So that is 6 divided by 24 is 0.25. Move the decimal point 2 places to the right, so we have 25%. So 25% of the distribution fall below Q sub 1 or P sub 25. So this is the measures of position representing Maria's age, which is considered the 6th youngest in the group. Okay, now let us have a quick check of your understanding about the concept of measures of position through this activity. Okay, so we have WW number 1. Okay, you simply write your name, section, the date, and lesson number 1. So if the statement is true, write letter T, and if the statement is false, write letter F. Okay? So you will be given 5 minutes. There, you're going to circle the letter of the correct answer. Okay, for the given statement, so we have 4 choices from A to D. Again, or you just simply copy the letter of the correct answer. Next, for items 8 to 10, we're going to refer to the situation below. In a class of 50 students, the teacher decided to give a free cell phone loan to those students who will be part of the top 5% of the class in terms of their average this quarter. Sandy's average is higher than 45 other students, while Mario's average is lower than his 2 other classmates. So you're going to answer 8 to 10. So you just simply choose whether the answer is A, B, C, or D. Okay, for your learning delight, please do read and understand lesson number 2, and then answer what's more. Letter A, you're going to solve Q sub 1, Q sub 2, Q sub 3, D sub 3, D sub 6, P sub 15, and P sub 65 using the given data set. So we have 10, 2, 9, 15, 23, 38, 17, 25, and 28 using these two methods. The first method is what we call empirical distribution with averaging, and the second method is weighted average estimate or the linear interpolation. And then for number 2, we're going to find P sub 25, P sub 50, P sub 75, and D sub 6 using weighted average estimate or linear interpolation only. So no need to solve the given measures of position using the first method. Okay?